Let's look at addition and subtraction with rational expressions. Our first problem, we have two fractions that have the same denominator. 2x minus 5 over x minus 2 subtract x minus 3 over x minus 2. When we're doing addition or subtraction and we have the same denominator, we simply add or subtract numerators. The only thing that we have to be careful of here is that we subtract the whole numerator in the second term. So I'm going to put parentheses around it just to make sure we do that. So that will give me an extra step. I have 2x minus 5 minus x plus 3 when I remove the parentheses there, all over x minus 2. Now 2x subtract x is x. Negative 5 and a positive 3 will add up to 2, or minus 2. All that's over x minus 2. And I reduce the lowest terms by dividing out common factors. The answer is 1. So this rational expression subtract this rational expression turns out to just be the number 1. When I have the same denominator like this and it's addition or subtraction between them, I simply add or subtract numerators. If it's subtraction, the only thing you have to be careful of is that you subtract the whole numerator right here. Let's look at another problem. Here I have two different denominators, so I'm going to have to build a least common denominator from these. I'm going to do that by first taking this problem and rewriting it with the denominators in factored form. Oops. So I factor each denominator. Here I have 2 times the quantity x plus 5. Here I have x plus 5 times x minus 5. Now my least common denominator is going to be 2 times x plus 5, so that denominator divides it. I need factors of 2 and x plus 5, so I put those in. So that this denominator will divide it, I need factors of x plus 5 and x minus 5. I have the x plus 5 factor, so I'll put in the x minus 5 factor. Now what I've done is built my least common denominator from the two factored denominators. Now I simply look back to my two fractions and see what I have to multiply the denominators by to get this least common denominator. So I'll build my equivalent fractions by taking this fraction and multiplying the numerator and denominator by the factor it doesn't have, which is x minus 5. And then I'll look at this denominator and multiply its numerator and denominator, multiply the numerator and denominator here by the factor that this denominator doesn't have, which is 2. Now, when I do that, I have x minus 5 times x plus 4, which will be x squared, minus x, minus 20, subtract 5 times 2, which is 10, all divided by the least common denominator, 2, x plus 5, x minus 5. Now I want to see how that looks. Okay, we're doing good. Now I want to simplify this numerator. So what I end up with is x squared minus x minus negative 20 plus negative 10 is negative 30, all divided by 2 times x plus 5 times x minus 5. Now I want to factor this numerator just to see if this will reduce to lowest terms. I have x minus 6, x plus 5 when I factor it. That's all divided by 2 times x plus 5, x minus 5. And I see that I have a factor of x plus 5 common to the numerator and denominator, so I divide that out. What's left is x minus 6 in the numerator and 2 times x minus 5 in the denominator. So there's the difference of these two original fractions right here that had different denominators. So if your two rational expressions have different denominators, you have to find the least common denominator, build up equivalent fractions using that least common denominator, then add or subtract numerators, and finally reduce to lowest terms if you need to.